Hey everybody, Nate from AroundTheWorldCouple.com again, and here with another one of our gear prep videos. This time we're going to be going over shoes. I'm only bringing one pair of shoes with me, so these shoes have a pretty tall order in terms of what they need to do. We are going to be traveling through a lot of cities, and we'll probably spend more than half our time in urban or developed areas. We definitely love the outdoors. We're going to do some hiking, but we're not going to do any long-term hiking. We're not going to do any backpacking. At least we don't think so yet. We'll see. So definitely need something that's good on concrete, but also something that can go off the road a little bit. In addition, since I'm only going to have one pair of shoes, I need something that can be dressed up a little bit if I want to go out to a nicer dinner. And then finally, of course, it's also something that has to be, I have to be able to work out in it because I'm only going to have one pair of shoes, and that's important to me to be able to go running or do other sort of athletic stuff, play sports. And then finally, of course, it also can't be super heavy because when I'm not wearing these, I'm going to have to be carrying them around. So a full set of sort of hiking boots or something like that, and not really an option. So I've got a couple options here that I ordered all from Zappos. You know, you order enough, it's free shipping both ways. It's a great way to try out different stuff in your home. Zappos lets you do that for 365 days, so you can return stuff for a whole year, supposing you haven't worn it out or worn out of the house, I suppose. So I've got a couple options here, and I'll take you through and let you know how I decided on the one I decided on. So first up, let's take a look here at the Sportiva Boulder X. So really, I thought a really cool looking shoe. It's got the blue, nice thick, very rigid sole on this. I mean, it's really stiff. It's got this sort of covered toe box right here, and it's really supportive laces. They go all the way down to the front of the shoe. I love the gray. Gray is probably my favorite shoe color, especially for long-term travel. It's hard to tell if it's dirty, and it matches pretty much everything. So the Sportivas are super comfy. They're super supportive, and my primary complaint about them is probably actually the weight of them. It's a pretty heavy shoe. I think it's definitely designed for mountaineering. So this incredibly thick sole you see right here is like super rigid. I'm sure it'd be great for walking on uneven terrain or on rocks or things like that. This toe box is perfect for like digging your toe into stuff. This is probably great for bouldering outdoors or things like that. But when I wear them, I feel kind of like an anime character. I mean, the sole is so thick. In addition to that, this suede is not waterproof, and frankly, it's not super breathable. So as much as I like these, and as great as these might be for a specific kind of outdoor activity, and even though I think they would kind of be able to be dressed up a little bit, they still look a little techy, but the suede looks nice. A little too heavy for my taste, and a little bit too rigid. So probably not going to take those. The next option I looked at was the Vask Grand Traverse. So these are a slightly slimmer profile, definitely a significantly lighter shoe. I think the lightest shoe out of all three of these. Again, we still got this covered toe box here, which I do like. It's got much more ventilation. You can see that obviously it's a lot easier for air to get in and out of this. And I do think generally this looks kind of like a cool urban sneaker. I think you could definitely wear this with something and sort of fit in if you want to go to a nicer restaurant. Unfortunately, the toe box on these shoes is really narrow, so it kind of really pinches down here. Now, I don't have particularly wide feet, but my toes do splay out a lot when I walk, and so I found that even just in the first 10 minutes I was wearing it, I was already feeling pressure on the outside of my toes, like right here, and that really just sort of disqualifies this shoe entirely. If I'm already uncomfortable with it just from walking around the house, obviously can't take it on the trip. So it looks like what I'm going to be going with, ironically enough, and I'll explain why I say that, is going to be the Merrell Moab Gore-Tex XCR. So obviously I think this is the most techy looking of the shoes. It's probably my least favorite in terms of looks. It's not, I think, super easy to dress it up. It's going to look like I'm wearing a 50-year-old man's sneakers the whole trip. But what are you going to do? On the upside, this has a ton of ventilation, as you can see. It's going to be great, definitely in cooler, or I should say warmer environments. And it is Gore-Tex, which means that it's actually waterproof, something that neither of these other shoes can offer. And I do love Merrell's, particularly because of their heel socket back here. I really feel like Merrell's have pretty reliably a really solid grip back here in the ball of the heel. And then in addition to that, they still have a very sort of wide and comfortable toe box. So your feet can expand, they can ventilate. If they're swollen from a day of walking, you're all right, while at the same time maintaining the stability of that grip here at the back. So it's unfortunate these are my favorite because they are the most expensive. These are 140 bucks. And actually Zappos in this case has a competitive price on this shoe. They don't always on some of their other shoes. Sometimes their prices are a bit higher. I will probably be taking this along, and I'm also a little dismayed because when I was in the Peace Corps, the Merrell Moab is the exact same shoe I wore in East Africa for 2 years. But I guess I should have known that and just listened to that experience and bought the same shoe immediately. But It's nice to do some testing. So we'll be following up with some more videos and getting some sandals in next week. And as we get closer, we're going to be setting up our final sort of electronics setup, our laptops, hard drives, different things we're going to use it for that. So check back for some more videos. We'll talk some more about how we're preparing for the trip. And of course, we will be launching sometime after the new year. We're headed to Cartagena, Colombia on January 8th. So if you'd be interested in hearing more from us and follow us along on our journey, just subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot.